can see me. Oh my God, it's so funny how this works these days. Literally a tick list of things to go, just so I can go and go live. Bum, 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 bum. Do you know why I'm playing this track? Let me know why I'm playing this track. If you know why I'm playing this track, just pop it in the chat. Yeah, we're remembering someone today. A genius. A genius, absolutely. No, it's not Austin Powers, although it's a famous part of Austin Powers. I have to talk over it a little bit as well. We're remembering today the one, the only, the incredible Quincy Jones. Did you know this was his track? Obviously, he's produced loads of things, but he wrote it, performed, and produced this one. It was his first hit. It was in the 1960s. All right, we're ready to do this properly today. All right, here we go. Let's do Magic Monday. Goodness, and then we have to do this. It's
the start of the week. Grab your coffee cups. It's Magic Monday Live.
Buddling. All right, here we go. I think we're ready. Everything seems to be set up. So I'm going to do an ask today, and an ask is when somebody sends in a question and they ask me something. And the thing that I've been asked today is this. Michael, here we go. Michael, hi. William here. William, I like when people say who they are, first of all. William here. Have you ever thought about being on TV? I would certainly watch your show. And that is from William Woods. I like a good WW as well. Any kind of good alliteration with names. William Woods. Does that alliterate? Kind of. Yeah, it works anyway. So thank you very much to William Woods for that question. So let me see if I can give you an answer. The simple answer is yes. Of course, I've thought about being on television. At one point, I really wanted to be on television, and I had quite high ambitions to be on television. And the reason why was because I thought it would be a great way to get my message out there, to talk to as many people as possible, and to be, to be, how would you describe it? I didn't want to be famous. I wanted to be influential. And my goal when I first started my business was to positively influence 1 million lives. And TV seemed to be a great way to do that. And I remember a coaching client who some of you will know about, called Davina McCall, said, Michael, you can do that in a night on telly. I thought, oh, that's interesting. Now, I had some experience of television before as a contributor, and I was a contributor on a show called The Big Breakfast. Do you remember The Big Breakfast? Yes. The original Chris Evans and Gabby Roslin version with Paula Yates on the bed interviewing people. It was 1993, and I was a contributor because I worked for a children's health charity at the time, and we were trying to get on The Big Breakfast, and our brilliant publicist, our head of PR, Julia Harron, had made a contact with somebody from the Big Breakfast, and she kept saying, will you have us on? Will you have us on? Will you have us on? And they kept saying, if you've got an event that would be good for The Big Breakfast, let us know, and we'll see if we can get you on. So Julia literally created an event just to get us on The Big Breakfast. PR, baby, PR. And the event was Bend a Balloon for the Yellow Brick Road. Bend a balloon for the Yellow Brick. I mean, this is superb. So I'm the community fundraiser. So I want to encourage people all around the north of England to do balloon modeling. There we are. First one, a worm. This will soon be snake, then dog. You know how it goes. I was actually very good at doing balloon modeling. And what the brilliant Julie did was she posted some pictures to the producer who she knew and said, Michael, our community fundraiser, is a world-class balloonologist. We are launching an event called Bend a Balloon for the Yellow Brick Road. I think you should have him on with his balloons. So they said yes. And not only that, they paid for me to go down to London, and I took a load of balloons I got to Lockkeeper's Cottages at 4:30 in the morning when they first opened to set up for production. I think they went live at about 7. And I made balloon models in this room, and I had loads. So I had a hot air balloon with all different bits in the basket woven and all that type of stuff, all with balloons. I had Daffy Duck riding a motorbike. I had a princess. I had, loads and loads of different stuff. All, and the room was just full of balloons. And they kept saying, "We're going to come to you at 7:30, Michael. We're going to come to you at 7:45. We're going to come to you at 8 o'clock." And it changed and it changed and it changed throughout the morning. I got really worried that it wasn't going to happen. And then at 8:45, they went, "Okay, bring some balloons. You're going to be on now." And so I grabbed all these balloons. I ran downstairs with them, and I was on. And this is a picture. I'll show you this quick little picture of me and Chris Evans there. So on people on Instagram, I can't show you that, but people who are watching on the other channels, you can see it. That's me with Chris Evans on the day, and I'm wearing a hand-painted silk tie. It looks a bit naff there, but it was actually very nice. It's the only tie I think I still own. And I had a lime green jacket on. And I was doing my bender balloon for the Yellow Brick Road. Wow. Do you want to see me do one now? Of course you do. Here we go. Ready? Oh, so there's the initial balloon. It's the easy part. Some people say it isn't, but I think that's the easy bit. And then let's do something fairly... Hang on. I'll do it this way. I used to churn these out at events and stuff. And there's a little classic dog. Yay! Oh, hang on, what about that bit? 1 second. And there we have a little bubble on the end. Yes! So that was my first experience of television, being on the Big Breakfast as a contributor. I had a brilliant day there. They were really kind. It was a brilliant time. Fast forward, so I start my business, and I start working with a few people who are on TV people. And one of them, the lovely Davina McCall, said, "You've got to get on television. I'm going to help you." So she introduced me to a management agency and said, "Right, okay, this is..." There's a step before that. There's one step before that. Whereas another friend of mine introduced me to an events production company, and they said, "You should be on television. Go meet this guy." So I went to meet with a guy called Nick Emerson, and Nick was brilliant. So Nick is a very, very successful TV producer. He's been all over the world now. At that time, he was based in Brighton with this company called Ricochet, and he made Super Nanny. You know Super Nanny, the TV show, and he also did the Real Housewives of New York City. Lots of other things as well, but Super Nanny is probably his most famous creation. And I went to pitch Nick on ideas. And I'm pitching away, and I'm doing all this stuff. It's kind of going, "How to Be Brilliant, the TV show." He goes, "What's that?" It says, "We take people who are average but passionate, and I can teach them how to be brilliant in 90 days. You went, "What else have you got?" But what about this? What about extreme flip-its? So people have a particular situation, and I'm going to flip it and transform their lives. And how quickly can you do it? I said, "Do it in 90 days. Faster. I can do it in a week. No, faster. I can do it in an hour." Okay, well, we're getting somewhere now. So we're pitching all these different ideas, and I'm pitching, and eventually I was running out of ideas. So I started to make stuff up on the hoof. Now, anybody who's watched Alan Partridge will know he's done a very similar thing. So I'm making up ideas on the hoof, pitching Nick Emerson, and then I ran out of steam, and I looked at him, he looked at me, and we just both went, "Monkey tennis." And then he said these brilliant words to me. There we are. Exactly that. It's just popped up there. Monkey tennis. And he said, "Michael, I'll be honest with you. We've got good ideas coming out of our arses. We need talent to present. And that's what you need to work on." I went, "Do you not think I'm very good?" He said, "No, I think you're very good. But TV presenting is different from live presenting. And you need to learn how to be a TV presenter and bring something that other people don't have." And he told me the story about how they recruited Super Nanny. And how was it Joe Frost? I think it was the original Super Nanny. How when she walked through the door, with an ill-fitting suit and a kind of a certain demeanor. They just went, boom, we found Super Nanny. They just knew. So it's kind of creating that. So I started to work as a developing my on-screen persona, what that would look like, what that would feel like. And as part of that, I wrote a book called How to Save an Hour Every Day. And we gave our PR company, we paid a PR company to get PR for this, a lot of money, looking back, a ridiculous amount of money to promote the me selling the book. And they managed to get me on a TV show called The Alan Titchmarsh Show. Do you remember that? Of course you don't. It was on during the day on ITV. So like 3 o'clock in the afternoon on ITV. And I'm there to promote a book called How to Save an Hour Every Day. And the people who were watching, all they had was time. And I'm saying, nobody has any time anymore, but I can get you an hour a day. And they must have been sat there going, why am I watching this? All I've got is time. So it didn't really work, but I learned a lot from doing that TV appearance. And one of the things I did was I talked a lot to producers and people, and I kind of put it out there a bit that I wanted to be on TV. And by doing that, and then also getting an agent, I managed to get myself into a great position where I could make a TV pilot. Now, I've made a TV pilot before this. I'd made one when I first started my business. I made it with a brilliant guy called Andy Gilbert, who's become a great friend of mine, and another guy called Steve McDermott. And we made something called The Thinking Engineers. And we made our own pilot, and we produced it, and we had our own camera crew to do it. And it was shocking. And I think Andy's probably got a copy of it somewhere. I don't have a copy, but I never want to see it again because I know it was dreadful. But anyway, I got approached by a company called Endemol. Most people know Endemol, big TV production company. And they said, we've got this idea and we'd like you to screen test. So I went along and I screen tested. And then at the other end, they said, great, okay, you've got the job. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to create a show called The Guru. And I was like, oh, am I the guru? No, you're not the guru. You're going to find the next guru. So the idea was that we would take people who were pretty good at what they did, and then we would develop them like a talent competition and help them to become a guru. And at the end, they won a speaking tour, a book deal, and something else. It wasn't a TV show, but it was, I think they got 3 things that they would win. So there was me. There was a brilliant lady called Susie Orman, American, who is phenomenal, huge in America, not as well known in the UK, but absolutely brilliant. And Rachel Stock, who was my publisher at Pearson, and she was looking at the book side of things. And initially, we sat there, the 3 of us. People would come in, they would pitch their idea and what they did and how they did stuff. And then we'd give them a task. And it was like a coaching task where they would have an individual that they would work with. And then finally, there was a big presentation in front of a few hundred people, and they would do a short keynote in front of the people. And then we would vote on who was going to be the guru. And they made this as a pilot, and they did what's called full production. So it was the full show, never to be shown on television, but full crew, full audience. They booked Hammersmith Town Hall to do the final bit. We had the call times, we had the cars to pick us up. It was phenomenal. It was a great experience, but it wasn't commissioned. Boo-hoo, it wasn't commissioned. But you know what? It doesn't matter. I would have liked it to have been commissioned. Of course I would, in one part of me. But now in my life, I'm really pleased that it wasn't. And the reason why is when you go on television, you give a big piece of your life away. You give away anonymity. You give away the opportunity just to sit down and have a meal with your partner. You give away a lot to be on television. I get minor recognition now. So every so often, maybe on a train or something like that, someone will come and they go, "Oh, you Michael Heppel?" And it's lovely. Of course it is. I always go, "Oh yeah, nice to meet you. Hi, how are you?" And you know, as I get people who write nice little notes and stuff like that, that's all absolutely wonderful. But the idea, and I've seen it happen so many times now with well-known people who I know, where your life is no longer your life. And people think because you're on the telly, you should give them loads and loads of attention. You should be really kind and nice to them and stuff like that. Oh boy, it's quite hard. I listened to an Ade Edmondson's audiobook, and it was really interesting because he was talking. It's called Berserker. It's a really good autobiography. He was talking about how Rick Mail loved the attention. So he said he would sometimes walk down the street and he would walk back again if no one recognized him, and then kind of be a bit more Rick, so people would recognize him. And he said, and I hated it, and I still do. I'll always be polite to people, but I really don't want you to come along and say hello. And I thought, I don't blame you. Absolutely don't blame you. So I nearly got on telly. The reason why the Guru wasn't commissioned was they changed the commissioning editor at Channel 4. This was going to be a Channel 4 8 o'clock show. Can you imagine if it had happened? Oh, it would have been unbearable. That's what Christine usually says. You would have been unbearable. And what happened was they changed the commissioning editor, and she thought there was something missing with the format. And then later on, I discovered what it was. And it's very interesting. I think it's very interesting. We took people who were already coaches. This was the production team, not we. I say we. The production people took people who were already coaches, and then they wanted them to go up to that next level. And they said it might have been commissioned if the people weren't already coaches. So you can imagine if it had been someone like who was a chemistry teacher, but who was brilliant at working with teenagers leading up to their A levels, giving them confidence. Or it could have been someone who was, a mechanic who was brilliant with apprentices and developing apprentices, and then how they could have gone on, or somebody who was in the army, or somebody. You could have just picked a whole lot of different things, people who didn't already claim to be coaches, and then develop them. That probably would have been a better show. And I agree. I absolutely agree. It probably would have been a better show. So it didn't get commissioned. There was one other pilot that I did, and I was in two minds about whether to mention this or not, because I can't remember the name of it. And it was a pilot with Davina. And Davina was making a show. It might have just been called Davina. I think it might have been just called Davina. And it was half personal development and half entertainment. And I did that show. And it was great because, Davina has such a passion for wanting to, develop people and wanting to, bring the best out of people and help people and support people. And she had, fitness stuff happening, and she had me doing personal development stuff. I think I talked about relationships with children was the theme for that one, for the pilot. It didn't get commissioned. Probably maybe for the best. She's gone on to do much, much, much better things. All right. So thank you very much, everybody, for joining in today. In terms of comments, it's quite difficult to do because they're all in different places. So I'm going to read some out. So here we go. So here's Dean Coulson saying, good afternoon, Michael. Dean from West Sleekburn tuning in. Dean, the thing I sent you yesterday, 100% meant that. Caroline, wish me a happy birthday. Caroline, Krista, it's your birthday. Happy birthday to you. I'll send you this, okay? It might come as a flat pack, and you might have to put it back together yourself. I'm joking, I'm not going to send it. I actually did a thing recently where I said to somebody, and you're a winner. Hey, check your post for the prize. Totally as a joke. Person came back months later saying I still haven't received it. Howdy from Hove. Hello, Sarah. I'll be talking to you later on. There's Dean saying happy birthday to Caroline. Noel is here. Noel Wincoat is in all the way from Nuneaton. And then we also have Dave Rogers from Womborne. Dave's got a new book coming out very, very soon. Check out Dave Rogers and have a look at his new book coming out very, very soon. Dave, when it comes out, I like the dates come out just before, prod me and remind me again to mention it. And here's Belinda Rose Bond from Suffolk. Matthew's here from the land of smiles, officially now in winter. Wow. So it's probably, 32 degrees, Matt? Because you're now in winter. Diane's here. Diane is in Clippinger. Christine Beach is here. Hi, Michael. I usually watch this on catch-up, but today I'm watching live. I love the balloon dog, especially the little bubble tail. That made me smile. Do you know, I actually selected the balloon today to be the best contrast with my jumper. Hope you like that. And Angie Vale is saying, had to stop from Instagram to Facebook as you're too close on there. Do you know why, Angie? I'll tell you why. So if anybody's watching on Instagram, The normal view would be, oh, you can't change it once you started broadcasting. No, you can't. That's a shame. I was going to try and shrink it to show what it would normally be, but it's too wide. So I just shrank it down so my head would be in and you wouldn't be able to look at my ceiling. So here we go. So we've got Steve Scarlett selling poppies in Tesco's, and then Poppy Fields Scaife has just joined on Instagram at the same second. Wow. And then here we go. Linda's here from A Not So Sunny Falmouth. And Steve Scarlett says, are you in recruitment? No, I'm not. Thanks for mentioning the book, says Dave Rogers. My absolute pleasure. Can't wait to get my hands on it. Can you make a baby bird balloon? Yes. Karen Boland's here. Hello from Perthshire. Fingers in the ears for the balloon modeling. I know that sound does drive some people a bit mad. And then the other thing I can do is I can show a couple on here. Here's Gaynor Cheerian sending a picture of balloons, and Mick Henley Santa about to get very busy for you, Mike. Sorry, Mike, not Mick, Mike. Monkey Tennis, yes. Eric's here saying Monday is fun day. Of course it is. And yes, says Mike, and I'm not the guru. I'm more like the boohoo. Hey, there we go. Anyway, thanks very much, everybody. I will be back next Monday, but slightly later. So Magic Monday Live will be at 12:30 next week. I have an event taking place from 11 to 12. I'm doing it online, but it means that I won't be able to get. Well, not won't be able to, just it's an impossibility. Can't be in two places at once. I will be at 12:30 next week. So if you're a person who tunes in live, I'm giving you the heads up now. All right. Thanks very much, everybody. Have a brilliant, brilliant week. Bye.